Hello everybody, Local Lego Man here, and welcome to an early LEGO Marvel CMF review. And yes, you can all say it with me, man, it sure has been a while. It's been a bit too long. It's been like a year since my last LEGO review. Ooh, yikes, that's a little bit too long. That's bad. But nonetheless, we're here. Don't mind the kind of like simple background. I'm currently packing for moving once again, so that's kind of why it's a little bit of a cleaner setup today. But like I said, today we have an early LEGO review for all of you, and the review is specifically of the brand new LEGO Marvel Across the Spider-Verse CMF series, which I was lucky enough to find in person at the store. So without further ado, I'm gonna quit babbling. It's been too long since I've done a LEGO review, so let's just get right into it. Alrighty, now this series is extremely spot on and another amazing LEGO Marvel CMF series. So without further ado, let's just start looking at these figures, starting off with Miles Morales, aka Spider-Man. And this figure is absolutely stellar, coming with a spider as an accessory. And when the CMF was initially revealed, I was curious as to how they were going to make another Miles Morales Spider-Man figure, since we already got one for Across the Spider-Verse earlier this year within a set. So I was like, are they just gonna upgrade that figure or do something else? And they ended up taking a bit of creative liberties and using this figure as a way to display Miles's electrical powers, which I think looks absolutely spot on. I really like the arm printing that they included, as well as how they had it with the shiny printing as well. And overall, this is just a really good figure, and if you want to upgrade the original one that came in the set as well, you can just swap the legs out. And apart from that, Miles also comes with a face print with both a happy and kind of angry looking facial expression, as well as this brand new hair mold, which looks really good and I believe is also going to be reused later this year for the rumored Star Trek set, which will be really cool. Next up, we have Gwen Stacy, also known as Spider-Gwen, and this figure comes with the photo of her and Miles as an accessory, and this is just another spot-on figure, and again, one that was also upgraded from the Across the Spider-Verse set with this brand new arm and leg printing, showing off those awesome Chuck Taylors, I will say. And the webbing detail on the arms with the blue and pink is just so intricate, and it really helps this figure stand out from a lot of the other Spider-Gwen figures that we have gotten. But the highlight for me comes with the new head and hairpiece, since not only is this hairpiece absolutely stellar, perfectly conveying the character's hair within the movie, but the happy as well as angry face print on this figure as well is just absolutely spot on, and I will most definitely be displaying this figure with the mask off just because of how spot on that hairpiece is. After that, we have Hobie Brown, also known as Spider-Punk, and this figure comes with the iconic guitar as an accessory, and safe to say this was the figure that I was probably most excited about, since not only is he, in my opinion, like the best character from that movie art style wise, but also I was really interested to see how this figure was going to transfer over. And this is going to be a little nerd side tangent, but LEGO Fortnite technically already had LEGO figures for Spider-Punk as well as Peter B. Parker, and to be honest, the figures that we ended up getting here are pretty much exactly identical. I mean, even that brand new kind of mohawk spike piece was introduced technically within the LEGO Fortnite model, so to see that figure pretty much get carried over completely was really interesting, and that's probably why I was most excited to see this figure. But it's honestly just cool to think about the design process and how, you know, they're going back and forth between LEGO Fortnite and then also, you know, just LEGO's design team in general. But overall, such a spot-on figure. The arm and leg printing is absolutely phenomenal. There are literally zero complaints I have about this figure. It is quite literally perfect, and it keeps on getting better with the face prints, with this happy as well as more serious facial expression. But the real highlight is that brand new hairpiece, which holy is just absolutely phenomenal, and again is another complete perfect representation of the character. Next up, we have Miguel O'Hara, also known as Spider-Man 2099, and this figure comes with Lila as an accessory, which is a really cool micro figure, and I like that they had it on the translucent orange since it really makes those details pop. And this is another perfectly conveyed figure. I genuinely can't think of a single complaint with this figure. I know some people might point out the lack of side leg printing, but this is also one of those characters that I don't think really needed it. And one thing thing that I will say that I was very surprised was included on the figure was the cape, since obviously it seemed to be a bigger focus in the marketing material for the movie, but as somebody who also just watched it recently, it really only appears in the beginning of the movie and then it's absent for the rest of it. So I'm glad that LEGO still went ahead and made that cape using the kind of like vinyl piece, which I think looks super good, allowing for that translucent kind of flow for the cape. And other than that, I'm just really happy that we did get a Spider-Man 2099 within the series, especially since there are some odd exclusions like Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider or Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman. But it's also good because I don't know if any of you guys have seen the price that the original Spider-Man 2099 figure was going for, but it was absolutely ridiculous when I saw it in my local Bricks and Minifigs for I think like $80 to $100. So I'm really happy that, you know, all fans have a cheaper and more affordable but also more obtainable version of this figure. And lastly, Miguel O'Hara does also come with a face and hair piece, which I love that most of the characters do within the CMF series, and it has a smiling kind of serious expression as well as this angry expression showing off the fangs, which is just perfect. After that, we have Peter B. Parker, aka Spider-Man, and Mayday. And this figure technically comes with an accessory, but the accessory is another character, that being Mayday, who, although they don't have a new body print, they do have a brand new face print showing that Spider-Man beanie, which is just adorable. And this is such a stellar fig. This is another one that was taken straight out of the LEGO Fortnite model, apart from the obvious Mayday carry-on, and it just looks completely spot on to the movie. You've got the awesome pink robe as well as those white slippers, and just the fact that, you know, he has the little front carriage as well for Mayday just makes this figure absolutely perfect. The one thing that I will say is that the face print kind of looks like the character, but this is one of the ones where I'm like, it looks close enough, but there's still like a little bit of doubt in my mind that this is the Peter B. Parker, but the alternate face print where he looks a little bit more confused, I think perfectly displays the look of the character. And then lastly, just in case any of you were curious, this is what the torso print looks like without Mayday's little carrying bag on. And after that, we have Margot Kess, aka Spider-Bite. And this figure comes with this little kind of touchscreen tablet as an accessory showing off the 42 for the spider that bit Miles being from Earth 42, which is a great little attention to detail. And wow, this is such an intricate and cool figure. I really like that in order to convey the translucence of this character, since within the movie they are kind of like a virtual avatar and they are kind of streaming themselves through a VR headset from their own Earth. I like that they chose to go with this opalescent pink printing, which, you know, they could have just gone with translucent and I think it would have looked good, but the opalescence really gives it that kind of physicality and that brunt that the character has, since, again, it is a virtual character, but they are also able to openly interact with things, and as opposed to looking kind of like a hologram, they look a lot more shiny and within the world, which I think is just a stellar detail. And apart from that, the printing on the legs and both the side arms and side legs look phenomenal, and the helmet piece as well is also really cool since it slightly modifies a LEGO hair mold that we already had, which is the one that was given to the character, and adds the Spider-Bite helmet on top, which I think looks really good, and the printing on that also looks spectacular for it being white on top of purple. And lastly, Spider-Bite also does have two facial expressions, one being a smiling grin and the other being a more scared expression to kind of show off when, you know, Miles was escaping back to his home Earth. And after that, we have Pabrit Pabakar, also known as Spider-Man India. And this figure comes with the cup for the chai, and no, I'm not going to say chai tea since we all know how the character feels about that, as well as the cat Spider-Man variant, which is a stellar little inclusion, having the little Spider-Man mask on the cat. And this figure is quite honestly spectacular. I really love the blending already of the character design with the lighter blue along with the red, as well as having hints of the darker red as well. And they absolutely cooked on both the sidearm and leg printing, but also the brand new hairpiece as well, which is used for both when he has his mask on, as well as when he has his mask off. And speaking of when he has his mask off, he does also have two facial expressions, one being this happy expression and then the other one being this more angry expression. And then after that, we have Patrick O'Hara, aka the Web Slinger. And this was a character that I didn't think was going to get included within the series, but I'm glad they did, coming with not only this little lasso as an accessory, but also their horse with the Spider-Man mask. And granted, it is a smaller horse, it's not like a full-scale Lego horse, but still, the fact that that was included is already leagues ahead of what they needed to do for the character. And the figure in general, too, is absolutely spot on. And this is definitely one that I think people who aren't even fans of Spider-Man, for the two people out there who are within that group, will be picking this specific figure up, since even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, this is a stellar cowboy outfit for both the legs and torso as well, with this awesome sand blue and dandelion yellow combo, which just looks super good. And I have to say too, the attention to detail on the printing with the poncho too just looks so good. And this is definitely another standout figure from this series for me, although it is a little bit more on the simplistic side when compared to some of the others. And next up, we have Peter Parker, also known in this dimension as Werewolf Spider-Man. And this was a really fun one to see. I've always been a fan of the spookier CMF series, and with a lot of those, we do get a werewolf figure. And this figure is still using that exact same headpiece that was used in all of those CMF series, as well as Monster Fighters as well, which is just a piece that I have so much nostalgia for. And I have to say, the print job here is absolutely phenomenal. I like that they chose to do these darker black highlights around all of the rips within the costume, since it really helps them to stand out a lot more, as well as highlighting the actual fur color. And this is just another spot on figure, and one that really does stand out amongst the rest of the series as just going a mile ahead in terms of printing, since there really isn't like a single flaw in printing at all over this entire figure, and it is just so detailed and could honestly fit in any spooky display that you have, even though it's got those brighter Spider-Man colors. After that, we have Miles G. Morales, aka the Prowler. And this figure not only comes with both of the metallic fist claws as an accessory, but also this record as well. And I believe this is technically our first Prowler figure that we have ever gotten, since, correct me if I'm wrong, apart from like the game versions and stuff, we haven't actually gotten a Prowler physical Lego figure before. And although part of me is like the teeniest bit sad that we didn't get the Into the Spider-Verse Uncle Aaron Prowler, this Miles G. Morales Prowler figure is absolutely stellar, having not only an exclusive face print to himself, which also has this stellar hairpiece, but they also included the mask as well, which is so menacing. And I really like how the hairpiece and the mask, which are two separate pieces, both really coincide perfectly together. And overall, I have to say, I love the details and the mix of the lavender with the gunmetal gray printing, and this is just such a spot-on figure. I also really like how they conveyed the shoes on the sides as well, and that extra little cape piece on top to show off the kind of collar of the Prowler outfit is just perfect. And I genuinely can't think of a single problem or complaint I have with this figure, especially since that lavender color scheme is just absolutely spot on. After that, we have Charlotte Weber, also known as Sun Spider. And I'm not gonna lie, this one might genuinely be my favorite figure from the series, since the orange printing on the character really helps them to stand out from the rest of the Spider cast that we get within this CMF series. And just the mix of the red, orange, black, and then gray looks super spot on. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the new backwards hat piece is new, and I have to say it looks really solid, but the main standout to me of this figure is the actual crushes that were included, since it is a big part of the identity of the character. And you know, Lego could have not included that and instead just included them in a sort of wheelchair, since Sun Spider does also use a wheelchair, but I'm really glad that they took the extra time to make these brand new crutch pieces, since not only will this allow for a multitude, and I'm sure it's probably already been included in Lego City and it's just new to me, but overall, I'm really glad that they included that, and it really does add a major addition to the character. And then finally, we wrap up this review with Petra Parker, also known as Cyborg Spider-Woman. And oh my gosh, What a stellar figure. Now, we did technically get a LEGO Cyborg Spider-Man within a Spider-Verse book earlier this year, and I wasn't sure if they were just gonna reuse most of the parts from that or make an entirely new figure, but I am 100% glad that they did, since obviously this is a completely different character, but also they absolutely nailed the mix of that shiny web printing and this brand new armor piece, which is both a mask and a kind of like shoulder gauntlet. And just as somebody who kind of likes the apocalyptic style LEGO figures that they've made, you know, Apocalypseburg or whatever it was called, the LEGO Movie 2 set had some absolutely stellar variants of like Superman, Green Lantern, Batman. I am really happy to be getting my hands on this figure. I love all the detailing with the belting as well as the kind of copper chains over the chest. And although this was the last figure we reviewed, I have to say that it really does stand out from the rest just with all of that metallic printing, and it honestly is one of the best of the series. And if you were curious as well, this is what the character looks like without that mask armor as well. But that's pretty much it. So if I had to rate this CMF as a whole, what would I rate it? Now, if I had to rate this CMF series, I'm going to have to give it the first 10 out of 10 of the LEGO review series, which, yes, I'm probably going to move to 10 out of 10 instead of 5 out of 5. That's something for a whole nother video discussion thing. But for now, yes, this is a 10 out of 10. It quite literally is one of those perfect CMF series, and I really do think it is leagues ahead of some of the other Marvel CMF series that we have gotten, because all of the figures are just so consistently good, and the fact that all of them also have brand new hair molds, new face prints, and all of the other goodies just make this a quite literally perfect CMF series. And I know, I've said, oh, this is cool, this is perfect, this is great, probably like 1,000 times, but it's because this is a really solid series. And I would highly recommend, if any of you guys are interested out there, to definitely pick it up when it launches September 1st. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this early LEGO review, and make sure to subscribe, since hopefully there will be more LEGO content in the future. And with that, I will see all of you in the next one. Bye!